Crystal. How's it going?
Hey Steve, good. How are you?
Well, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off, so to speak. Uh, I've got the sniffles. Some might say I've got a cold. Others might say I've got coronavirus. I'm sure it's not coronavirus because I told myself it's not. So that's what we're gonna go with. Every year this time, my head's a little foggy. So every year around this time, I get the same thing with the same symptoms, with the same feeling. So I'm just confident that it's not something ridiculously bad. So now that that's out of the way,
Yes. Yes. Mine sets everything, Steve, though. I agree. I don't get sick because I say that I don't get sick.
yeah, well, I get sick a lot because I'm unhealthy. That's why. Uh, because candy bars aren't breakfast, apparently, so I'm told. Um, all right, so for those of you that are confused as you start watching this, it's probably because you haven't watched one of the first like 6 videos that I've done. So Crystal and I have been doing this series. I'm sure she's got to be sick of me by now. Um, we did a little one-on-one product tour kind of video, and then I started using Syncro. And so I did like a day one, a week one, and then because I'm not going like gangbusters with an MSP these days. I think it's been like 2 months almost since we did the week one, and today we're doing month one because I think this is what a real month one would be like for people. So if it's all right with you, I'm gonna share my screen and let's just dive in and do this.
Yeah, I want to see what you've been up to.
All right, so I get to share my screen twice because reasons. Um, because of this cool software that I use for us to do our thing. But now you should see mine, right? You see the release update
Yep.
script cat. So like I didn't know this was happening. Okay, you hit me with yet another. Um, you guys hit me with yet another.
Yes.
So I don't know. I never know what to do in this situation where you hit me with so many updates that I can't keep up, Crystal.
Yes. And I will say it's interesting because even for me, um, we're releasing things so fast that I have to retrain myself, I feel like once a week on on all of the new things. But yes, script categories that you see right here are pretty awesome. Highly requested.
So I can't wait to figure out yet another thing. Let's talk about this for a minute actually. So I think it's if I come here, yeah, script categories. I'm just gonna come to your blog and I'm gonna oh my goodness, everything's going so slow. This is what happens when you are multitasking, and your internet's all jacked up, and you're waiting on the internet provider to send you a better modem and
Yes.
things. All right, so it's okay. My head's cloudy, so maybe the computer's just trying to keep it at my pace. So I'm gonna click here on the right side. I'm gonna click on new features, and I just want to make sure you guys are aware of how ridiculous Syncro is. And by ridiculous, I mean I can't keep up with you. So, new feature script categories added to Syncro. Oh, that's
Yeah, you
making me
want to
dizzy.
talk? You
That
want to talk to us?
it wiggled and everything. I got dizzy. Uh, SNMP support. I'll have questions about that eventually.
Hmm.
Edit bulk edit customers. Um, I haven't figured out this quick access icons thing yet. Password type variables, trial bit defender. I mean, like, and that's just all within September.
Yeah.
And like,
Yep.
how? So how as as a user of Syncro, how am I supposed to keep up with this? Because, like when Autotask does their update, I mean, back when I was using Autotask, it was, I think they were doing an update every 2 years. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but we sure were waiting a long time for that big update with all the dashboards and whatnot. So, they pushed out all these features at once. So it was like, okay, now I have to just relearn how to use Autotask. Whereas with Syncro, I don't know. Am I relearning how to use Syncro every 3 days, or am I just trying to figure out how to run my business and add more functionality in my PSA/RMM every 3 days? Like, how
Yeah,
do
that's
people do this?
it's a really good question, and I think there's like a cadence, and our marketing team that collaborates with our production team is really, really amazing. But essentially, the way that I perceive it is that you'll see release updates and feature enhancements where like there's like the main feature. Like for example, we added a setting into adding ticket time,
Mm-hmm.
that if basically if you don't want to leave that ticket without actually charging for that time, you get a little pop-up. Now this was more of like,
I just straight up lost Crystal.
so while everyone is super excited about like the new things that we add, it's like it's add-ons to features that they're already using. Now, so we try to mix it with quality of lifestyle improvements like that just make your day-to-day super easy, make sure that you're always charging for time, making more money, all of those kind of things. And then you have things like SNMP, which is an entirely new module.
Right.
And whether you're using a third party tool to do network monitoring currently, or you just haven't really broken into, monitoring printers and things like that, it's like you have to kind of learn, hey, there is this whole new module here. But with SNMP, the amazing thing about that is you're now monitoring, like I mentioned, say, for example, you're monitoring printers, and you can now get an alert when someone needs toner, and now you could possibly be the person that sells them that toner.
Hmm.
You just added a whole new revenue stream, and SNMP comes included. It's no additional charge in Syncro. So that one was just huge, and I think we kind of knocked it out of the park with that one.
Okay, and I'll give you that. So let's talk about the SNMP here for a second. So um, I haven't looked at it at all. So let's see what kind of trouble I can get into. If I click on SNMP here,
Hmm.
it wants to.
It's gonna want you to add your new SNMP assets.
Right.
Um,
So
one.
so let's
Good.
say I'm going into a prospect, because the great thing about Syncro is I'm able to deploy agents to every device at a prospect, and I don't have to worry about paying extra for agents because it's all inclusive. So I can
Right.
deploy agents to all my devices at a prospect, um, get any information I'm looking for, and then present them a really nice um, proposal.
Yes.
However people want to do this, right? I'm pulling ideas out of my tail here, but um, I don't have like a network map, So I would
Right.
still need a third party tool from what I'm seeing here in order to figure out what are all of the devices that are out there on the network. Whereas I guess with some of these other systems, I can hit a couple buttons and go through a wizard or two, and now it's uh, perusing the network for me and detecting all of the devices, and then I can choose to monitor things via SNMP if I want.
Right. Yes, this is not like a network probe or anything like that. Not to say that it won't be in the future. You do need to know the IP address to go out and grab like a printer that's on the network, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I foresee this being a feature that continues to evolve for sure. So version 1 is, it's not gonna go out and grab that printer organically, but if you know the IP address, you can do that, monitor total levels, and be able to start creating those RMM alerts based upon ink levels and all of that good stuff.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's fair. I think this is an excellent start when it comes to version 1. Obviously,
Yep.
we can't expect you to just, uh, every 3 days launch entirely new modules with every bell and whistle. I just wanted to make sure that you're thinking of this stuff, because I know
Oh yeah.
sometimes, for example, MSPs that are much bigger and maybe they have dozens of employees,
Mm-hmm.
it sometimes starts to feel like the owner doesn't know what the hell they're talking about or doing anymore. I mean, I remember back when I was working for an IT consulting company. So let's say it's 2007, and the guy's asking me to check the hosts file and do all this like Windows 95 stuff on a computer. And I'm like, dude, it's 2007. What world are you living in? So I'm glad that you guys aren't like so far removed from this that you're launching like half baked modules and features because you don't know what people want.
Yeah, I think that's very, very true, and I'm glad that you said that, because I mean, I would actually, half is like a very huge understatement. We are super community driven. Half of the things that you see on the new release wrote like notes that you just went through in the blog have been community driven track features straight from
Nice.
our Facebook users group. Um, and so we also, we very much highly leverage MSPs to help us, give us advice as what you're looking for, exactly how should we do this. And then also members of our team have run MSPs. So, we definitely are absolutely involved in what's happening right now.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna switch back over to my screen here. So I'll pull out of the SNMP section. I'm gonna go over to my dashboard, and the first thing you'll see is I'm actually doing some things here and there in Syncro. So there are tickets, and there are times that response times and completion times and all that type of stuff that you can see in the dashboard here. Um, so yeah, I've been really pleased with how this has been working. I think a problem that I run into, and it doesn't matter what tool I'm on, is squirrel, and I go work on things that aren't tickets. But that's not your fault. That's my fault. Um, so yeah, this has been working really well so far. If we look here, let me think of some of the things that I've implemented. Um, so first, let's go with an easy one. Ian showed me the other day when the two of us had our little interview. He showed me a feature that I didn't realize what this was. Um, and I think that probably happens to me a lot more than I'd like to admit. So ticket workflows. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when I hear workflows, I think of, like the Autotask ConnectWise workflows. Those are the automations, whereas yours are ticket automations. Makes sense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
so this here, am I able to click on this to edit the thing? There we go. So this here, I didn't realize I was able to customize what a like new ticket screen looked like, because I really couldn't stand that whole like, all right, let's enter the customer name, hit select the customer name, and then hit next. I'm like, oh, that's so frustrating. So the fact that
Mm-hmm.
he showed me that this existed, and
Mm-hmm.
mind blown. I gotta say, I was
Yeah.
um, I
Yeah.
was delighted. Let's see. If I were to,
It's
I was just gonna say, if I were to add a
Yeah, go
section, the
ahead.
only other thing I would add is I want to see the contact details. And there we go. Save. Done. I assume that lets me select a contact now when I'm creating a ticket. The one thing that I keep forgetting exists because it's just so tiny is this plus. So I find myself clicking tickets and then going up to the top and finding that create a new ticket button, and I keep forgetting I can just come up here to this plus and hit new ticket. So now that I
Mm-hmm.
created that workflow, in theory, it's now going to have contact details on the very bottom. And I think you were going to say something and I cut you off.
Oh no, that's okay. I think that I don't know if our
Yes.
connection's kind of weird. I don't know if there's a delay. But yeah, the other thing to note too is that you can have multiple workflows and you can have a default one that like where you just went to create a ticket, you could do that. But you can, if you have multiple, like right on there, you can see it's going to do your default on like by default, obviously, but then you can choose a workflow too. So if it was like a totally new customer, like new customer intake or something like that, you could
Mm,
have a different workflow, which is really nice.
that is really nice. So the fact that I've got, customer contact, ticket info, and asset info right here, and just to remind people, here's what the uh, the original ticket workflow used to look like. Wah wah. So this
Right.
was this was just so blah, So that alone has really sped up the creation of tickets, and I suspect I haven't gotten there yet, but I suspect I can even like have some things pre-filled out in some of these workflows, so that way I could say, customer wants a new website and have a workflow all about creating a new website ticket and have that be the whole, everything's just ready and in there. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing as I go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Sorry. Am I slow? Like, am I cutting in and out
Cutting
at
in
all?
and out, no. I lost you for a moment near the
Okay.
beginning, but no, we might have a little delay, and let me see if there's anything
Okay.
I can do to fix that. Yeah, it's uploading a video still for the church. Um, I'm gonna
Got it. Okay. That
I
might be what it is.
yeah, let me switch back over to that. We've got one of the videos uploaded, so let me just cancel this one and I'll upload that later. There we go. All right, so now hopefully everything's magically resolved.
Nice. Now, I'm curious, like for you, what is the normal flow? Does someone give you a call and then you create a ticket or like email you? What
Well,
happens?
right now I've got people emailing me directly, so then I forward that to my Syncro email, and I was delighted when I saw that it was actually creating the ticket for that end user. It was smart enough to know that it was a forward for me. So that's been working
Yes.
really well for me. But if somebody calls me or um, if somebody emails me and I just want to completely redo the whole email ticket, look, feel, whatever, I've created
Mm-hmm.
that ticket literally using my new workflow, and it works really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to hear just like different ways giving demos. My
Hmm.
favorite way to show to create a ticket is like from the asset itself. But I like seeing all of the different ways
Oh.
that MSPs are doing that.
Yeah. See, I don't. Well, if I were actually like working in an asset, I would absolutely do that. But I think it really depends on like
Mm-hmm.
where I am in the
Yep.
interface. Um,
Yep. Absolutely.
so yeah, that's worked really well. Let's talk about some other things that I found in the admin section here. Um, so the first thing that I found that I really liked was you've got some website integrations. Um,
Mm-hmm.
these website integrations, while not the prettiest, they're functional. Um, and I
Yes.
think that that says a lot, you know. So you can legit just click a button and it'll give you some code, and you pop that code into your website. And
Yep.
if you're a WordPress guy and you're using something like Elementor, like me, or Beaver Builder, like some buddies of mine, they typically have a like an HTML element or widget or whatever they call it that you can just drop in, and then you just drop this code in there, and then this thing will load up. Um, the one that
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited, most excited to play around with, is the appointment booking module. So I can tell you that if we click here to preview, it should, in theory, show you like here's Steve's actual availability. So according to this, I'm really available, and that blows my mind. Maybe it's because I don't have my Google Calendar linked up to it yet, and I suspect
That's
that's it.
probably it. Yeah.
So, but
Yep.
like I said, it's something I'm looking forward to playing with. I'm not actively playing with it. I did start putting it on the website, and it really was as simple as a copy and paste, and it just right in there. That was awesome. So definite thank you for
Yeah.
making that easy.
The other thing, if you haven't seen it too, is there's custom widgets as well. So like these are 100% plug and play,
Hmm.
which saves a ton of time, but there's custom widgets also.
Oh. Yeah, I think as you see,
So
I
so you
looks
see,
like I
yeah,
started
right.
playing, and I just didn't know what the heck I was doing here. Or again, squirrel. One of the two. I don't know. Uh, yeah, it looks like I was screwing around with the calendar one or the appointment booking one. So if I were
Mm-hmm.
to hit edit, and I just want to clarify, this is super slow, and I just installed the Ubiquiti Amplify here at the house, which is it's supposed to be the bee's knees, and my internet is still awful. All right, so it's got all of these different widgets, and I
Yeah,
love it.
it's okay.
So I can ask people to sign things. Just sign here. Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, exactly.
so yeah, this is something that I'll definitely want to play around with some more. Um, I think the part where I think it's just going to have to be a play around and figure things out. Some of the names of these things really confuse me. Buy or repair, huh? But what am I buying and repairing? Um,
Yeah.
so I think if these things were just
Yeah,
named
so
a little
it's
better, it
it's
might
like
make more sense.
yeah, because yeah, this one's definitely like if you had a scenario where you wanted to put like iPhone repair or even like Lenovo repair, whatever it might be. This is definitely if you had more of like a break fix hybrid model,
Sure.
but it's really cool.
And so when I add that and go to edit the settings, it just says link to a buying service, and that is really vague. So I'll just go ahead and skip that.
Right. So if you start Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to pull from your inventory. So like if you had a product in your inventory that you wanted to sell on your, like it would.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is if I have something in inventory, I link to the product itself from Syncro. I put that link in here.
Yeah, I mm-hmm. Like if you just started typing in whatever like a product or a service, it should pull from your inventory and you could add that.
No. Here, what happens if I hover or
I don't
click
I'm
or that's
I
weird.
wonder I wonder if I do it on my side real quick because I can't tell if there's so much of a delay because I can't even see like if you're typing stuff.
I did type stuff.
Let me look here.
And it was just very not doing anything.
Yeah, I couldn't really see. I couldn't really follow.
Gotcha.
But I'm definitely not the specialist on the website widgets, so I might not be the best one to answer that question anyways, but I just know with those widget flows, because like you were saying, the plug and plays are great, but they're not maybe the prettiest.
Sure.
So you can even do colors and stuff like that on the custom ones.
Oh, okay. Well, very cool. So I'm gonna go. Do I want to go? Oh, I'm gonna go back into admin. I learned something really important here in the admin section under the ticket automations. Um,
Okay.
and I don't know. I think I just had a duh moment. I don't think this was anything that you guys did wrong. So I had a, you know, if the ticket hasn't been replied to in 24 hours, then email the customer. And that was all it was doing, was just sending an email to the customer. So then I don't know, however frequently it runs this thing, every hour, it would start emailing the customer. So I've got customers that were like, Steve, I get it. I'm just not
Yes.
there yet. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, you keep emailing me every hour. I'm like, oh. So, yeah, so I had to go in here, and basically what I did was I made a bunch of ticket statuses. And I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but I made a bunch of statuses. That way this thing could kind of walk through. So email them and change the status to I sent a notification, the first one. And then keep going through that until it gets to the point where it says, well, fine, you don't want to talk to me? Screw you then. And um, and then it'll close the ticket. So yeah, keep that in mind that if you don't give it an additional change, other like I'm going to email them, but we should also change the ticket somehow. Because if you don't change the ticket or
Hmm.
update the ticket in some way, then the ticket still technically hasn't been updated.
Right. And I mean, so like you could change the status, you could do that like you were doing. You could have it like post a note or a comment into the ticket because that would
Mm-hmm.
justify an update. Um, so either way, and the like you're saying, ticket automations, unless your conditions change, will send every hour.
Yeah.
They'll trigger every hour.
And I also found that there's a
Yeah.
limit on how many times it'll let it run on a ticket. I learned that the hard way too.
Interesting. What's the limit?
I don't remember now. I want to say it's in the 15 to 30 range.
And it might also because your account is still in the trial version,
Oh, well,
but that might be hard
it
to fit
said
the
it
amount
though.
of emails while you're in a trial.
Gotcha. Well, and that makes sense. Forever trial. Where did it show me? Maybe it was in the help documentation, where I was just reading around. I'm like, and I just happened to run into. They don't run on the hour. A ticket automation will run a maximum of 10 times per ticket. Beyond this, the automation will no longer run.
Oh.
So yeah, it's not even a trial thing. It's a we will limit this to run 10 times.
It's just hard coded.
Yeah, and I think that's fine because I can't think of a reason where I would need something to happen automatically more than 10 times. If I do, then I'm doing
more than 10
something
times.
wrong.
Yeah.
Like.
I agree with that.
So let's talk about since we're going through.
So what else have you learned?
Well, since we're going through the admin section still, let's look at third-party integrations in the App Center. So one of the things that I implemented, and I'll be honest, I'm afraid to open it. And it's not in this list. I integrated SimpleSat. So SimpleSat is one of those customer satisfaction / what's the other term? NPS, Network Promoter Score. So, So SimpleSat does that, for those of you that don't know. And so basically I've got a ticket status that says completed, send survey, and then there's an automation that will send a different email because I couldn't figure out how to edit my emails. I'll complain to you about that here shortly. So I couldn't figure out how to edit my emails. So instead, I just made like a custom email and then used that for the custom ticket status. And then with the automation, then I would just change it to resolved after it sent that. So, it was a workaround. A little frustrating, but I lived. So if I were to open that, I'm cringing. You get here. I'm gonna switch to us. That way, they don't see it if it's bad. Because I've got like buddies. I've got buddies on here, just helping me play with the thing. I don't know what people are scoring it as, So I had to tell people yesterday. I was like, hey, just a reminder. This is customer facing, so please don't go in and do whatever. Oh, see, and it doesn't look like anyone has actually done it yet. It's just been me. I think I'm gonna go with thank God for that. So these two these two here. So if we look at this, we can see that I gave myself a 5. Here's the ticket ID, and if I click on this, it'll open up a new tab, and it'll take me right to that ticket, which I think I deleted, which is fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a ticket of me screwing around. I didn't want to keep it, but so yeah.
This is cool though.
Yeah, so the fact that it just integrates. I did a video on just me setting up the SimpleSat integration. I actually sent it over to you, and I sent it over to the guys over at SimpleSat. SimpleSat's great. They'll actually make their whole they'll make their whole dev team watch it. So whenever I do a video of SimpleSat, they'll make the whole dev team watch it. And, they have their little cringe fest of, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did all this wrong stuff. But they're also learning, okay, he expected something to be here and it wasn't, so whatever. So yeah, I did that. I have not done anything with Zapier. I did integrate FlowRoute just to play around. That was stupid easy.
How'd it go?
Stupid easy.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is in here? I've got Stripe integrated, but I'm not trying to send people invoices right now. Yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. I was having the which one do I want to use, FlowRoute or Twilio. Let's see, is there anything else that I did? I guess that's it. I thought I did more with third-party integrations, but I guess I was wrong. But it's okay.
Are you, remind me, are you using an antivirus?
Yeah, I'm playing around with the MCSoft.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Nice.
I mean, it's detected some things. It's done its job. I've, again, been delighted. You guys are just making
Great.
things like stupid
That's awesome.
easy. So, in my policies,
That's awesome.
let's look at my policies here for a minute. So, I've got a policy specific to a client, and I think we might have talked about this last time. I don't remember, where they're actually they're using Google Drive for their G Suite for the business, and so what I did was in their policy. Let's see here. It was in the third party software policy. I was able to, because you guys just use Chocolatey, I was able to find the Google Drive file stream and just here install it, and it just did.
Love it. That's awesome.
One thing that I was really getting sick of was I had this alert if asset offline for. I had it if they were offline for more than 24 hours, and let me tell you, that got really obnoxious. That got really I just got rid of it because it's all desktops and laptops, a lot of laptops. So nobody cares. Nobody cares.
No, no one cares. Yeah, we just want to know about servers, right?
Right. And I would make a different policy to set up on some servers, but right now everything's just on like 365, so I don't need to monitor actual servers. But if I come in here, I'll go to the third-party patch management module, whatever it's called, and here's the one for FLZ. And so there's a couple things that I wish this had. But yeah, all I did was I came down here, I hit Add Application, and I typed in the name of the application on this little box that popped up. Guys, this was stupid easy, okay? If Chocolatey has it, you can deploy it.
Yep.
All right, so here's the two
their
things.
Library.
Yeah, their library is like crazy extensive. Like tens of thousands of things. It's
like 7,000 or something.
I don't know. Lots. Yeah. More than 30. That's all right. So I wish there was a fourth option. Uninstall. Because I know Chocolatey can uninstall things. I just wish I could have an uninstall be part of the management policy. And then I wish there was a checkbox up here that said select all. Man, because let me tell you, going down this list and checking every single box here gets really annoying. So yeah, those are the only two things I would change: a select all and an uninstall for the third-party management. And I think I sent to you. Someone was complaining, and I think they were trying to be helpful, but they're an Atera user, and apparently Atera has some of these extra bells and whistles, and it's not because Syncro can't. It's because nobody's asked for it yet. Is if you guys want the honest truth, it's all the same thing. Whether you're using Atera or Syncro, Chocolatey's Chocolatey. You guys just haven't developed the interface because nobody's cared.
The uninstall is definitely... Yeah, I mean, we hear the uninstall often. And I don't know if that's something that we plan on baking into like this module or on an actual asset where we have a list of all installed applications. So I don't have a ton of insight there.
Well, and so to clarify, what I'm looking at here is, for example, if I've got a client where they had some janky podunk IT guy that they found on Craigslist or wherever, and he's charging them a buttload of money and giving them all LibreOffice, I would love to just use Chocolatey because Chocolaty's already got LibreOffice, right? I would love to just let Chocolatey do its job and uninstall LibreOffice. Now, I would not be opposed to you guys having an uninstall in the asset itself so I could uninstall other things like, the other RMM tools or just other things, right? But I guess what I'm looking at is specific to, at the very least, specific to Chocolatey stuff. Anything that would be here in this third-party patch module, I wish there was an uninstall specifically for these. That way, if this client decides they're going to switch to Office 365 next year, I could check the box and just remove file stream from all their machines. And that's that.
Right. Yes. Yep, I hear you. Yep.
But the installation of something that's not in this list, if it's in Chocolatey, stupid easy. Loved it. It was fast. Like, I deployed the agent, it installed Chrome, it installed Drive File Stream. Like, I didn't feel like I was waiting very long. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Scripts. So the scripting also pretty great. So the where is it? You guys have that like script library. I don't remember. Do I have to? Oh, I don't think that was under view before.
Yep.
I don't know. Whatever. So you guys have the community library, which has over 100, maybe over 200 scripts that guys like you and me, we submit scripts, and then the people over at Syncro will basically check the code and make sure I'm not installing, some garbage on people's computers.
Yes. Yes.
So, regardless, though, like, it'll just do a PowerShell script. Like, you can write a script with your favorite text editor, or you can write it right here in the browser in Syncro. And I've got some suggestions for that, by the way. And it'll just run it. Like, you just copy and paste the script and it'll run. So a buddy of mine, I actually talked to you about him and said, hey, I'd love if I could get my buddy to join us. And he seemed like he would. So maybe we'll do that sometime in the future. So the one thing he said was he always puts these two lines here, the $$ subdomain and the $ email, at the top of the script, because Syncro will do it automatically if you don't. But if you don't, then anytime you have a failed script and you want to go and see what's wrong, and it says, the error's on line 79, it actually means it's on like line 77 on your script, and he's lazy and doesn't want to do math. So if he just puts these here, then it's always the correct line when it tells him what line it threw up the flag on. So this script he wrote. So I'm not trying to like give this script away, but I just want to show like this script is absolutely insane. And one of my favorite things about this script is if we get down here to the bottom, after it installs SolarWinds Backup, it's going to create a ticket. It's going to add time to the ticket, add a note to the ticket, and then it'll even send an email to me, not the end user. I don't want it to bug the end user, but I want an email notification because it's going to close the ticket for me too. So I don't want to have to go looking for closed tickets. I just want to get a nice email, very simple, very basic. It just says backup was successfully installed. Right here. The computer name, action,
Mm-hmm.
result. Like, it is literally that stupid easy. So kudos to him, because I am not as amazing at PowerShell as I'd like to be. So I couldn't tell you what most of this stuff means. I'm embarrassed to say that. I wish I could. But again, it ran it ran fast. Like, I if I were to do this on something else that somebody might run in a lab somewhere, one of those lab-based RMMs, right? Uh, so if I were to run it on that, I feel like I would be waiting 5 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes before it would even run the script. With this, I feel like it just did it. Um, so the fact that I was able to,
It just works.
it does. It's
Yeah.
like an Apple computer from 10 years ago. So I've also got I've got one that I made to play around with. Reset print spooler. So I tested this one. I made this one all by myself. I was really proud of myself. Um, so I also put a boatload of comments in here to remind myself what all this stuff does. Uh, so here's the ticket. So perform your automated scripting actions here. Create a comment that notifies of the remediation steps. This here created the ticket. Get the time 10 minutes ago. Create a time entry. Close the ticket. So most of this script is setting up variables and then setting up the ticket. Like, there's legit just 2 line items here of actual stuff on the computer. But the cool thing is the computer's doing all of this stuff too. So I will say this. I like that it has the color coding and it has the line numbers and all that. I feel like the only thing that would make this perfect would be if it had like a search and replace, like maybe a couple options up here with some buttons
Oh,
to
yeah.
click. That way, like,
Uh-huh.
people could legit
Yeah.
just like write their whole script in here. That would be super cool if you had some
Oh,
of
yeah.
those kind of
Yeah.
features. And again, like, search and replace is just kind of the only one I'm able to think of right now, because you change your file type, and I'm sure it changes the structure and the colors and everything based on the file type. So you don't have to. You're already changing the file type there, so it's not like we'd have to tell it somewhere else. But I'm sure there are some other features that people would like to have, uh, that they could get rid of their Notepad++ or whatever it is they like to use to write their scripts, and just write them here. With the exception of, they might want to save a copy on their local computer or on their server or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm. I see what you're saying.
And look at this. Latest
I
one script run. Success. It worked.
Success. Yay! You did it.
I did. I gotta tell you, I probably spent an
Yeah,
hour making
I'd
this
be
stupid
really
thing.
well. I would really be interested to, like you said, your buddy, to kind of be able to walk through this, because I mean, some of this is like super self-explanatory to me, like when I read a script, but I would never be.
No, I understand. And like his scripts, he's got a lot of he does a lot with variables, so that way it's just already at the beginning. Like, I think the first, what was it, like 52 lines of the script, you could just copy and paste from every script of his in Syncro.
Yeah.
And then you literally just change
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
action. Because remember, down at the bottom when it emails you and it says computer name, action, result, you would just change the action up on like line 6 or whatever. Everything else is the same, because it's just setting up all of the variables. It's making sure that the computer has all of the like working folders that he likes to work with, that type of stuff. And I think that would probably vary for some people. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I did here with a script, and I was like I said, I gave myself a nice tall beverage after that. That was a good time. But
You
the
had to reward yourself a little bit.
I did, but the SolarWinds backups, I was able to with the help of my buddy, um, he gave them to me, and I just had to modify a few things. We were able to set up 3 scripts,
Yeah.
and they all, if you were to go into SolarWinds backup and then like manually add a device, and then it asks you like
Yeah.
what company is it with, and then you select the company, and then you tell it what type of backup is it, professional or documents, and then it'll give you this long string, and that's basically the file name that you need to have the name of the file. So basically how they install it is they
Yeah.
use the same file for everything, whether you're installing professional or documents. And the way they link a device with an account is they change the name of the file to have the, like, we'll call it the serial number or the product key. Um, and I think WebRoot at least used to do it the same way, so I don't feel like this is anything crazy new. But yeah, it
Yeah.
so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work with his name's Eric over at SolarWinds. I'm going to work with him to get a podcast going where we write some custom scripts and make sure that it's doing all the right things to install SolarWinds backups, but also so that it can do more of the automated
Yeah.
deployment. So that way we don't have to go into the dashboard and click the add and choose a customer. Like, it should just do it, like. So I'm all about
Yeah.
doing things the easy way, which sometimes makes it a lot harder for me at the beginning.
Yes. I'm impressed by this. This is good though. This is all good stuff. You've been really diving in.
I really have been. I've been having a good time. So I also made a couple scripts to remove Atera and Ninja RMM, and I also want to make one that'll remove SolarWinds MSP RMM, Logic Now, whatever, Hound Dog.
Yeah.
But I don't have any way of testing them. So that would be cool if I could get someone to help me figure out if these scripts will actually work, because I would like to have. I think it's important, and honestly, I think it should be like in your community library. There should be a removal tool for every
Yeah.
competitor software that can be on this thing.
Got it.
So every RMM tool, the big ones, you know what I mean. I don't care about Pulseway, but come on, we gotta we gotta worry about the big ones, and then like the major antivirus. If we could get uninstallers for those, that way we could just go in and rip everything out from a former provider if we have to do things the hard way.
Yeah.
Not
Because I
that.
thought, I mean, we've got. Good.
I was just gonna say, and it's not that we can't write that script, but
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
there's 1,000 MSPs that all need the same thing, we might as well just make it one time and share it, But I did
Yes.
not.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I did not see anything in the library for that.
I mean, I actually think we have a uninstall WebRoot maybe, which is interesting since we integrate with WebRoot. But I thought I saw that in there the other day. Like if you just, I can't remember. I know there's a few in here, and I know uninstall Atera is on here as well because I know you brought that up. What is all in there?
Hey, cool. Steve Weber.
Uninstalls Atera and Slashtop. Sophos. Uninstall Pulseway, Slashtop, TeamViewer, WebRoot.
So, what's funny is I feel like you've got all the little guys. So CentraStage, I mean, this should really
Yeah.
get updated. The name is Datto RMM now. I mean, it's gone through a couple name changes since
Yes.
stage. So yeah, I mean, if you had
Yes.
if you had SolarWinds, both of those, Kaseya and ConnectWise, then that would be complete as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
Sweet.
okay, so there's and I think it's smart that you have a removal tool for WebRoot and Bitdefender, because we as MSPs need to be able to remove that from our clients if we are offboarding a client for some reason. So, I mean, that makes sense. Sophos deployment, it would be nice if Steve Weber gave us a Sophos unployment, a removal for Sophos. Maybe I'll give Steve a hard time.
Yeah.
Because I know Steve.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, there's a few in here, but I feel like we need so many more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of on my to-do list, is I want to kind of make, and I need to figure out how to test them, but I want to make some of these uninstall removal tools, whatever you want to call them, so that way we can get rid of some of these other RMM tools, and I want to add them to the script library, because I think it's important that all of us as MSPs can remove the garbage left over by former providers, or if we switch tools and we don't remove something correctly, give us an easy way to remove things, whatever. So
I encourage everybody to submit things into that community script library, because I agree. I think that why not utilize each other? You're doing it on a day-to-day basis anyways, might as well help your neighbor, kind of thing.
right. And that's where I'm at. Like, obviously I wouldn't be doing these podcasts and I wouldn't have peer groups and all that if I wasn't trying to help other MSPs, right? And I get some MSPs are a little sensitive when it comes to how much do I want to share with what I consider my competition. But I guess the way I try to view things, I guess I try to view things a little differently. I feel like even though there might be 12 other MSPs that I know and run into on a monthly basis in the area, why can't we get along? Why can't we share?
Yeah.
There's enough business to go around for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, I agree. I agree with that. And I mean, I know you can be an MSP and service customers outside of your area, but I mean, for the most part, our community, we're all over the place. Everyone's spread out. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
And I think I reached out to tech support or whoever. I think I'm still blocked from your Facebook group. The Syncro user group on Facebook.
What?
Yeah. So
yeah.
I can't find it on Facebook, which leads me to believe I'm blocked. I reached out and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, dude, what? So yeah.
I'll ask Ian. You didn't ask Ian the last time you were?
I thought I did. I don't remember what the answer was.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sure it was because I was probably posting webinars and advertisements or something, but at this point, if I'm going to be using Syncro, I should probably get into the Syncro user group. So
I'm going to be in that group. Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
see. What else have I used? What else have I done?
What have you been up to? Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember what you said in your email, because I was curious too.
I just thought.
Oh, we talked about everything that you've. What?
I remembered another. So one of your new features. In fact, I'm not even gonna do this. Let's come up here, and let's make an estimate. Okay. So on my new estimate, are there estimate workflows that I can set up?
No.
Guess what?
Nope.
You need one. All right, so
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
all right, so I'll come here and I'm gonna just type in 365, and it's gonna pop up. I don't know, probably several items. So let's do 365 Business Basic, and then create line item.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Love it. Sell all the things.
So I really like this upsell opportunity feature, because now you've made it like really easy for me to just start adding a bunch of things to a proposal. So for example,
Yes.
maybe I've just got one that whatever, right? And now I'm gonna add these and this, and they need 5 of those, need 3 of this, and then they need some of this, and then I hit add, and now all of those things are on this proposal, and you just made it stupid easy.
Yeah. Yeah, we want you guys to make more money.
So
Upsell.
the
Love it.
upsell feature, like anytime I hear upsell, Crystal, I worked at Taco Bell when I was in high school, okay? So when I heard the word upsell at Taco Bell, they were telling me when they place an order, I need to offer them a drink or nachos or cinnamon twists. I will forever remember that.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
literally, when I hear upsell, I think, do you want fries with that? But you don't necessarily have to be, you could use this as, okay, I've got a generic laptop SKU, and then I've got all of these other products that I have listed as upsell items. So maybe I've got a docking station, a monitor, keyboard, mouse, laptop bag, surge protector. The list goes on, right? There's all the trinkets and trash and tchotchkes and everything else that you can throw in with a device that you're selling somebody. So obviously you can take the would you like fries with that approach, but you can also take the, all right, when I'm setting up a proposal for managed services, maybe I break things down and I do endpoints and users and networks and servers. So if I just add one of those, it gives me the upsell opportunities for the rest of them. And then I can just bang it all out. So it's not always necessarily upselling as much as it's cross-selling in my eyes, where
Cross-selling.
where
Yep.
I just am using it as an easy way to bundle things together.
Yep. Yes. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And I love that. I love how you have this set up too. I like your descriptions. You did a really good job there.
Thank you. I have a little bit of OCD. So if we were to look at this as a PDF, which I wish this preview was bigger. Whatever. But I mean, if we were to look at this as a PDF, it looks, in my opinion, nice. And then I've even got all this whole disclaimer stuff and a signature, and I just I play around. I haven't actually used this.
Beautiful.
So for those of you that are reading this, cut the crap. I haven't actually sent this to anyone. Okay, I just wanted to play around.
Oh, that's funny.
The chat, nobody's actually.
This is great.
Somebody has chatted with me. Now they did not start the chat. I did, but it was nice to just do that and not have to talk to them on the phone, because they don't speak fluent English, and it was just delightful to read it as fluent English.
Yes. That's awesome. that's really cool.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
our chat feature is awesome.
So the couple of
Um,
things that I want to figure out for next time.
yeah,
Let's see. So the contracts thing, my I think that's going
yeah,
to be one of the big things that I would have to figure out. If Syncro is going to be permanent for me, contracts would have to get figured out because there are some clients where maybe everything's all inclusive. Other clients might get a special rate, and I suspect contracts is where all that magic happens. Um, and then
yes.
I would want to integrate my Google Calendar so that way the appointment setting feature would just work. And yeah, I really like. I'm trying to avoid going into certain areas so that way I don't have to go through and blur things out later. Um, but yeah, like
Yeah, I hear you.
this is really. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I don't want to sound like some kind of shill that's just trying to make it sound like you guys are the bee's knees, and I'm not getting anything. I have an extended trial, guys. Okay, like I'm literally getting tens of dollars worth of value out of this. No offense, Crystal. I just um I just don't I want to give you a fair shake, which is why I'm also trying to give you a hard time on some things and give you some constructive criticism on the tool
Yeah.
because I don't want people to think I'm just some like yes man because I'm not. Um, I speak my mind and unfortunately it gets me in trouble because I don't actually think about what should come out of my mouth first. So I hope I haven't offended you or anybody else today like I probably have done in other videos that I may have done last week. Uh,
I I appreciate the insight. It's really nice to be able to kind of like walk through and get the, be the, I guess, experience the eyes of what an MSP would experience and, how they interpret features and why they, would feel like something might be missing or could be enhanced. Like this is really good for us also. And I think
sure.
it's worth mentioning that everything that you see here that Steve has walked through, as he mentioned, this is a trial version. So it is fully functioning. If you want to just like try it out, you absolutely can do that for 30 days. And kind of do this same run through. And now that we have done, how many videos have we done? This is kind of perfect. You could watch them in order now and speed up your process.
This is this is the sixth Syncro video that I've done in the last 3 months. One of those was a video
Yeah.
without you, where I was just doing the simple SAT integration, and then the other one was the interview with Ian.
Mm-hmm.
So this is number 4 with our little series of going through Syncro. And I have some ideas of what I'd like. I mean, because I think we should continue this. I think there are ways we can continue this. I think there are ways for people to do continuous improvement in Syncro. Obviously, I have 19 new features this month that I have to figure out how to use, Crystal. So I want to figure out
Good
how
problems to have, right? With an RMM and PSA.
exactly. These are good problems to have. I'm not complaining, only a little, but like I'll want to figure out the SNMP thing and what the heck's an OID recipe and whatever else, and there are obviously some things that I would like to figure out in here. There are some things that I would like to figure out when it comes to like automated remediation. So I want to start maybe putting together like some Syncro powwows. I know that you guys have a weekly thing, like a live Q&A every week. I don't know how deep you guys get into it, so I'm gonna throw my idea out there, and if you guys are already doing it, then I'll just join yours. So what I think would be great is if we had a group of Syncro users where we get together and we're not afraid to share our screens and we're not afraid to show you, hey, here's the scripts I made, and hey, here's a copy of it, and here's how I set up some ticket automations and some automated remediation stuff. Like I want to create like a community around this where all of us as MSPs can help each other take Syncro to the next level for ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's amazing because, yeah, what we do right now, you're probably referring to open office hours. We do them every Friday. It's myself and two other members of the sales team that just really take a full hour and whatever questions MSPs have, whether they're trialing the software or they've been paying for a while, it really doesn't matter the journey. Now, we don't have our users. It would take it totally to a different level if the users were sharing their screens or that kind of thing. So it's really more of that Q&A with us where, it's a deep dive into different features and things like that. But I think that's a really neat idea. We do have guests every once in a while that hop in and share their experience. But I love the idea of more of like a community driven, like peer group almost, which would be phenomenal.
So I just want to clarify, you said you have the open office hours every Friday?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go back to Skype, and I'm going to change the screen I'm sharing, and we're gonna have a little fun here as well, because that's what I do to you. Just give you a hard time.
So you get this email, which is, are you sharing your screen? Yeah, for everyone. So you get this email for Tuesdays. If you're in a trial, Brandy and Tatiana do trial Tuesdays. If you are a trial, a payer, anywhere in your journey, we even post the Friday edition ones on our Facebook group. So the Friday group is a larger group, and sometimes the questions are a little bit more advanced because you've been using the software for longer, whereas when you're in a trial, it's the perfect like how-to style Q&A.
That makes sense.
Open office hours is like the highlight of the week. We really, really, really enjoy doing those.
I know what you mean. I've got some standing meetings on my calendar as well, and it's just my favorite thing to hop in my Zoom room with 6 other guys in the peer groups, and just I feel like I'm hanging out for a couple hours, even though we've got an agenda, we've got things to get done, and it's all very it's all very just we don't have time to screw around, but we still somehow have fun.
Right.
So
yes,
yeah, I think I can appreciate
I feel like that's, yeah, I do. I think that's what we provide. Like, we use, like, if you're used to Zoom webinars, like we use the Q&A, and we'll get done with an hour session and have answered like 100 questions that have come through the Q&A. So it's really nice. It's like very rapid fire, and we most of the time get through all of the questions that people are asking. So it's incredibly interactive. We do record them all too. They're on our YouTube page,
Wow.
just so that anyone, if they want to go back. So, yep.
I did not know that.
Very helpful.
So you hear that, guys? You have even more stuff to go watch, because Syncro probably has 100 open office hours, Fridays, whatever they're called. I'm sorry. Can you tell my brain is at like 5%? Please put it on the charger now. Like. Oh my gosh. So I think now is a wonderful time for us to just say, we went through everything that I had on my list today. I hope that that you guys that are watching, you were able to see some of the different things that you're able to do with Syncro. Hopefully you were able to kind of figure out how I did some of it. If not, you can go to Trial Tuesday if you're going to sign up for a trial, or you can go to Open Office Hours Friday, and you can ask them if you are a paying member or as a trial member. It sounds like you can go to that as long as you don't mind getting a little more advanced. Crystal, is there anything else that you guys have going on that you want to share?
I will just mention that we are doing a What's New in Syncro webinar next week. And so if you're involved in our Facebook group, users group, you'll be able to register for that, where I will walk through basically in the last 6 weeks, everything that we've released and try to like dive a little bit deeper into those things that, like you're saying, Steve, will hopefully help folks get trained up faster than having to like learn it on your own. So those are really, really helpful. So I would recommend hopping into that. I know that we're also going to do an SNMP deep dive, like a very specific webinar only for SNMP to talk through all of those questions that you probably are already having. So we have two live webinars coming up that should be super helpful.
That's very cool. And besides seeing that information in the Facebook group, is there somewhere on the Syncro website where we can learn more about these events? For the people like me that have been blocked from the group. I know another guy that's also blocked from the group. Oh no, I lost her again, guys.
Well, I will ask my marketing team, because I thought we were putting registration links, like when we have a webinar coming up, it'll be in the blog and there'll be a registration link there.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, Crystal, thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, Steve, it's been great.
It has. Hopefully the weird networking issues that I'm experiencing aren't too terrible for those of you that are watching and you were able to get through all of this. But for now, I'll say this. We will see you guys at the next podcast episode. Take care, everybody.
Awesome.